Hello, everyone. The little red numbers are rolling, which means we're recording, which means I see my little volume thing going up and down, so I'm talking, which is good. I know Mouse's was going up and down, so he's talking. Do
Hello,
not. There he
possums.
goes. I'm like, don't do the Godzilla thing because it's old and dry and worn out. Uh,
I could make so many bad
you
jokes.
could, and I know most of them. So, moving along. Welcome to Geekamole's best of, worst of, whatever for media for the year 2016. We did our our game review last week. So this will be our final episode for the year. And I apologize. I'm going to keep playing with my ear because it itches like mad for some strange reason. And we will be back after the first of the year with whatever the hell we're going to talk about. I
Sort
guess
of.
games will be the next topic again. We'll just have to figure out when that's happening. Anyways, so we have, because media is a broad spectrum of topics, and we have such diverse tastes, we each have now two picks for the top, or top and worst and most shocking and blah, blah, blah. So for each category, I will, of course, defer to Mouse to go first, and I will do mine second. So we're going to start off just as we did last time with most shocking. Mouse, would you like to do a preface before I show your first most shocking?
A preface for what?
Well, you got on me for spoiling your fun last time, so would you like to preface it, or would you like me just to put the logo up?
Put the logo up.
Logo's up.
All right, so Rebirth, DC. After 33 months of agony, known as the New 52, DC kind of realized that they had been screwing up for the last 33 months, and that what they gave their readers wasn't what they actually wanted, because the readers missed the connections and the history of these characters, and most of all the hope, which, because for those 33 months DC became basically the 90s all over again, and they gave us Rebirth, which is sort of not ignoring what happened during the New 52, but basically blaming the New 52 on Alan Moore. I I don't like Alan Moore, but I don't think he deserves that. But in any case, DC is making the correct strides, trying to return to the base of the characters. As I said many times before, ad nauseum, if you remember, the base, the core of the DC characters is not one, except where it applies in the individual character, is not one of cynicism and anti-hero vibes and all of that. That's usually a lot of what Marvel does. Marvel does cynicism very well, and the sarcasm very well. So DC's trying to get back to that, and so far the efforts have been good. Greg Rucka has been doing a wonderful Wonder Woman comic, sort of dealing with how the New 52 did happen, but it wasn't actually Diana's real origin. So I am really happy about that. I like it's good to see DC Comics not sucking again.
Well, tell us what's most shocking about this. Why is this most shocking for you?
That they did it at all. Because for 33 months, they basically stuck to their guns. The Warners, basically word from the top, were basically saying, we're sticking with this. This is what's going to happen. The old continuity was erased out of existence. Deal with it, bitches. And that's basically what happened until, of course, they started seeing the sales. But, you know, considering the Warners, you never know that that's actually going to move them. But something must have changed in the stars. They must have locked Dan Didio up in a closet somewhere. But Rebirth happened, and we're happy, very, very happy that it did. So that is my shocking good in the media section, the comic section. There's a shocking bad, which is something DC has done, and they actually they canceled René DeLiz's The Legend of Wonder Woman Volume 2.
This is his honorable mention because
This is my honorable mention for most shocking bad. Unfortunately, basically what happened is, long story short, The Legend of Wonder Woman Volume 1 was a lovely, lovely reimagining of Wonder Woman's origins, and it set it in World War II, the classic origin, but it was so well done. Then most of us were looking forward to a Volume 2. It was very critically acclaimed. Unfortunately, Ray Dillon, the big mouth that he is, started mouthing off on Twitter, basically casting shade on DC for giving the title of the spin-off title of the Amazons um, to a male writer instead of Rene DeLiz, who had been one of the people who had pitched the idea to DC a while ago. Now, to be fair, Rene DeLiz is not the only one who came up with this idea. The concept of a spin-off featuring only Amazons, not Wonder Woman herself, but the Amazons, had been pitched around as far back as, I believe, George Perez. So it was not Rene DeLiz's baby. But it was something that she really wanted to do. But instead, she got to do The Legend of Wonder Woman 1, which she did marvelously. And we were set to have the Volume 2 up until last week. And then, at the drop of a hat, it was cancelled. And the reason why is because Ray Dillon ran his mouth, basically casting shade on DC for not giving the comic to Rene DeLiz. And he has been doing this for a while. And unfortunately, Rene DeLiz is, of course, associated with Dillon. And so it was kind of a PR snafu for DC. They did not like a staffer bad-mouthing them on a public medium such as Twitter. And so he and Rene DeLiz paid the price by having the title canceled. I think that sucks. But, you know, if I went on Twitter and I started bad-mouthing my employers for decisions that they made that I think is stupid, I think they have all the right to tell me, you know, we don't really want to keep working with you. So there you have it. That is my most shocking bad. For media, most shocking, I only have one good, and that is Zootopia. Now, this is a movie that we had heard about, a while back. We had been looking at the trailers, we had been looking at the development art. So I'm trying to get this moving quickly. I honestly did not expect it to be as good as it was. And basically one of the best Disney movies in the last several years. And probably the movie that spawned a new generation of furries.
Like they needed another generation.
Like they needed another generation, yeah. But yes, so that is my most shocking good to Zootopia. This year, 2016, has sucked donkey balls. But I think the only company who can claim that 2016 was a great year is Disney, because outside of that horrible Alice in Wonderland movie, it looks like Disney could do no wrong this year.
I'm just going to point out, after talking about furries, you talked about a year sucking donkey balls.
Shut up. Shut up.
I'm sorry, it was too on point. So are we done with yours?
I'm done with mine.
Moving on to my top two. First up is The Expanse, because honestly, when I first watched the very first episode of this, I didn't think that it was going to be much of anything. It was one of those dark and gritty sci-fi shows that I just generally don't care for. And as the series went on, I found myself rapidly sitting there watching this, wondering what the hell's going to happen next. So it gets the most shocking because it made me question my own taste, because there I was thinking, I'm not going to like this show. I don't care for it. It's getting too much hype. And all of a sudden I was just going, oh, what's going on?
Congratulations, you made Drew feel ashamed for himself.
No, nothing. You barely make me feel ashamed of myself.
I got you to clean your frickin' room.
No, if you saw what it looked like now, it's not much. It's only slightly better than it was. Anyways, so The Expanse, and following this theme, my second choice is Westworld. Now, while I have not exactly watched all of Westworld, I did watch one episode, and again, thought to myself, not going to care for it. I don't particularly like cowboy-themed things, even when there's the sci-fi wrapping of robots and conspiracies and crap like that going on behind it. And for those who know me, you know I am a spoiler fanatic. We're going to just possibly, straight up say, we're going to try and be spoiler-free on this episode. Things may slip in, but I will do my best. But I am a spoiler fanatic. You can't spoil things for me. The more I hear, generally, the more I want to see. And I went and saw some of the revelations that occurred in the season finale of Westworld. And just seeing that, I'm like, okay, now I have to go watch the damn season because I want to know what's going on. So, Westworld, again, making me question my own tastes. So, now we go to our blank screen so we can change our topic from most shocking to the worst of 2016. And Mouse, once again, is up. Do you want me to reveal, or do you wish to...
Do the review.
The reveal. First up.
Civil War. What can I say? The first time Marvel tried Civil War, it wasn't a success either. It suffered from plot stupid characters, and by that I mean that the plot requires that otherwise intelligent, moral, and good characters start behaving like blabbering idiots, and that happened in the first Civil War. If you remember, Reed Richards was just perfectly fine by sending people off into this interdimensional prison so they could be freaking tortured. And the same thing happens here with Carol Danvers, where one of the most sympathetic characters in the Marvel Universe gets turned into a freaking moron just for the sake of plot convenience. And this is kind of... It's kind of bizarre because this happened around the same time that Rebirth was happening. So it's almost like someone in DC sent in a spy and stole Marvel's brain, because up until this point their comics were
They
great.
only share one brain between the two of them. Only one can be good at a time.
They're kind of like the Graia from the Greek mythology, you know, where they're blind, but they pass this eyeball around in turns. And Odysseus, I guess, comes in and steals the eye. Or is it Perseus? Perseus.
Who cares? Somebody steals the eyeball.
But in any case, this was really, really, really disappointing for Marvel to do this. And this will be a while, I think, before they recover, because the repercussions of the stupid must flow and cleanse themselves before we can have good storytelling again, I guess. And now for my cinematic stupid. One.
And now for my cinematic stupid.
Cinematic stupid. Do I really need to say it?
Yes, you do. Otherwise, we could just leave the graphic up and I could
Ninja
move
Turtles!
online.
Ninja Turtles, Out of the Shadows. The movie that... Pardon me.
And while he chokes to death...
I had a little Michael Bay in my throat. That's why I was choking.
I'm just going to ignore that statement.
I didn't mean it like that.
Water.
You know how you have a little frog in your throat?
I'm going to...
Shut up. Any case, this is sort of a movie that granted fans everything they asked for and kind of reminded us why getting everything we asked for is not necessarily a good thing. We had Bebop and Rocksteady, we had Baxter Stockman, we had Krang, we had the Technodrome, and it all kind of just sucked, really. I guess the reason is because you again had Michael Bay on the helm, and that kind of proves that no matter how good your materials are, if your chef is crap, you're going to have crap on a shingle. That's pretty much it, really. It kind of made me sad, and the moment that Bebop and Rocksteady compared dick sizes, I kind of died a little inside.
Yeah.
I did not need to see that any more than I needed to hear Mikey in the first movie talking about how his shell felt tight when he looked at April. Really, Michael Bay, you need help. Anyways, moving on.
I don't know if he wrote that particular line in. I mean, the screenwriters take some blame for that.
Well, the taint of Bay is all over this.
I'm just going to let that one go, too. Moving on to my topics. And the first one I'm just going to say, it's really hard to believe that this actually was 2016, considering how long we talked about it. But my first choice is the movie that shall not be named. Yes, March 2016. We were talking about it that long.
Damn.
And even though I gave it a semi-passable score, it still goes down as one of the worst of 2016 because it was in all aspects a monumental failure for what it was supposed to be.
You know, I just realized something, and you're gonna laugh. I guess this year was so long, kind of went by, that I forgot that the movie that shall not be named came out this year. In my mind, it came out November of last year.
That's what, because that's how long we were talking about it.
That's why I didn't have it as my choice, because I thought, it was last year, so it didn't really, so I can't really talk about it.
Well, see, the thing is that when I sat down to make my choices, I'm like, okay, so let's see what movies came out this year, and I'm like, holy crap, it actually did come out this year.
So I'm not the only one to whom this happened, so I feel slightly better now.
Like I said, we were bad mouthing this movie for so damn long.
Hey, we were not bad mouthing. We were making accurate predictions.
Yeah.
They were freaking accurate.
They were accurate, but this came out in March, and therefore it is my worst. And that shouldn't tell you that my second choice for worst should not be so surprising. Suicide Squad. DC, you done effed up this year. I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I thought about Suicide Squad. I thought about choosing Suicide Squad. But here's the thing. The proportion of franchise effery, because I can't say the word, between the two of them, I think Out of the Shadows goes higher than Suicide Squad in just how totally off everything was, and the fact that, let me put it this way, the fact that we had Megan Fox yet again at April O'Neil, and she looked like she was waiting for her manicure through most of the scenes. I have seen brooms that were more invested. At least the actors in Suicide Squad were invested. Even the poor woman playing Katana, whom they gave her F all to do, she was more invested than Megan Fox. So that's fine.
She was totally anticipating being part of the Harley Quinn solo.
Me too. You know what? I love Katana. I want to see her outside of that stupid movie. So.
I think they could have given her a solo title.
I think so. Well, she deserves it. And you know what? Batman and the Outsiders deserves
Would have been an excellent option, yes.
I think they should have gone with Batman and the Outsiders instead of stupid Suicide Squad. I mean, I like Suicide Squad as a comic, but that movie was just no. And they wasted someone as talented as Viola Davis on it. Seriously.
And they hyped up Jared Leto's whole performance, and
the full 5 minutes.
It's kind of like
leaving
the afterbirth and declaring it your child.
Exactly.
Anyways, and so
not always spoken of afterbirth.
We move on from our blank image so that I can change our titles again from the worst of to the best of. And do you want to lead in for yours, or shall I just show the picture?
Best of. Go ahead.
There you go.
For me, the best is, so far in comics, the Wonder Woman comic is written by Greg Rucka. Both Year One and The Lives, because it's a 2-week, twice-a-month comic right now. And the reason it's my best is because I think Wonder Woman was one of the most effed up characters in the New 52. As far as what they did to her origins, her story. They basically done...
You clearly haven't watched Justice League Action, have you?
Sucks. I am trying not to watch that crap.
It's horrible.
Brief tangent. The moment I saw that Wonder Woman had stolen her hairdo from Sheena Easton, I knew nothing could be good about that.
And her personality from the 80s.
And her personality from the 80s. She was... I kind of expected her to break into Jumping Flash Jack at this point. So
Jumping Jack Flash.
Do you remember that movie with Whoopi Goldberg in it?
Jumping Jack Flash, not Jumping Flash Jack.
Whatever. It was. I hate that movie so much. That's how he mangled the title. So sue me. In any case, that's why I knew it was going to be crap, so I didn't watch it. Where was I? Oh yeah. So outside of Justice League Action, I think that the most screwed up character as far as origins and just the core of the character herself throughout the New 52 was indeed Wonder Woman. So Rucka had a momentous task to when he took on the Rebirth Wonder Woman, he had to somehow deal with the crap that had come before, the rapey Amazons, all of that dark bullshittery, and somehow he needed to return Wonder Woman to her origins, to her actual core. That is not an easy task for a good writer. Actually, it's an incredibly difficult task for a good writer, considering what has been done to the character. Ruka took to it, and he came in with a plan. And outside of some of the things that I consider questionable, like his dealing with Frank Cho about the covers, whatever, he's the guy in charge of the title, so whatever. He has done a more than admirable job in returning the character to who she really is. And if you have not been reading Wonder Woman: The Lies Whore, Year One, if you have to choose one, then choose the odd. I think it's the odd numbered issues. Year One, which is kind of a retelling of Wonder Woman's origin story. Yes, yet again, but this time it had to be told sort of to establish that the New 52 was not her real origin. So that's good. And now moving on to the next media movie, the best movie of the year for me. It was going to be Zootopia. It really was. But then Asher and I went to see a movie that I didn't really expect much from. From the trailers, it looked like your standard, artsy sci-fi movie, but like Oblivion. I thought it'll be okay.
You thought Oblivion was artsy?
Not artsy. It's it kind of had the same palette. The cool colors and the music in the background. So I thought, okay, yeah, it's gonna be something like this. I was not prepared. I was not prepared for a smart, intelligent movie that did not talk down to you, with a very interesting premise that I cannot ruin because you really have to see this movie. And when the pieces fall into place, I'm not going to ruin that moment of realization for you because it makes you go, this movie is beautiful. It's one of the few movies that I describe as beautiful. Up there, for example, with Antonia's Line. Watch it if you haven't seen it. This is a movie I want to see again. This is a movie I want to own. And while Asher is destroying my studio behind me, this is a movie that I bought the soundtrack. I never do that, but of course the soundtrack is mostly classical. It's music by Max Richter, a German composer. There has music by Dvorak, and it also has music by a Swedish composer, Johan Johansson, which is the most Swedish name I can think of. But I really can't say enough good things about this movie. You have to go and see it and experience it for yourself. That's Arrival.
My turn?
Your turn.
My first choice is, it literally got in freaking under the wire, as in this weekend. I managed to see this late Friday. Rogue One. I was blown away, quite honestly. I won't, obviously, I will do my best not to spoil it for you.
Was it better than episode 7?
Oh, yes. Yes. Episode 7, while good, I still felt followed a New Hope storyline a little too closely. Rogue One. I recently saw a theory, I think it was Film Theorists, that talked about this, where they were talking about how the original Star Wars series and the prequels and the sequels now all follow the traditional space opera route. However, the gentleman who was pegged to be the director for Rogue One has opted to follow the new format for space operas, which are a little bit darker, not necessarily filled with this gleaming, blinding hope that everything else is painted in. And I think it made this, for those of you who like the new the new version of Battlestar Galactica, I think you will like this so much. I don't want to spoil it. And if I tell you the exact reasons I liked it, unfortunately, that would spoil a great deal of it. But I think it was just an amazing story, and
You should just say, it good, go watch.
it could go watch. And my second choice, Penny Dreadful. As sad as I am that the series ended, I think that the hallmark
Single solitary manly tear.
single solitary, hell no. great many flowings of tears. I think that the hallmark, the way you tell a show has you invested, is when you treat the loss of a main character like you just lost a member of your family. And without me going too deeply into spoiler territory for those who have not yet seen the final episode, that's how it impacted me. So I wish there was a fourth season coming up. I'm waiting with bated breath for when season 3 is released on DVD so I can watch it again and again and again and again and feel all the feels. But Penny Dreadful. I mean, there you go.
There you go.
There you go. So now we move to our blank screen again, so that we can change from the best of 2016 to the most anticipated of 2017. And Mouse.
And I go. So, those of you who have been watching the webcast, all three of you know that one of my most anticipated comics of Whatchamacallit year was...
Whatchamacallit year?
That's the official title for this year, the WTF McCullough year, was indeed Super Sons, which, paired up Damian Wayne and Superman's boy, John, as a kind of like an odd couple team. And I thought that was absolutely hilarious because I hate Damian Wayne and I like seeing him suffer. And I also thought that the personalities were well matched for this kind of odd couple title. But after delays after delays after delays, we finally got word that they will be released, God willing, in the year of 2017. So that is now my officially most anticipated, most looked after, whatever, selection.
And
for my movies, follow yourself surprised. Wonder Woman, coming out in the summer of next year. Too freaking long, if you ask me. But this kind of might be the movie that makes or breaks DC, if you think about it, considering they have two tanks behind them, two critical tanks behind them. If they do Wonder Woman right, this could be the movie that could finally put the DC cinematic universe afloat. There is a great deal of hope because Zack Snyder has announced that he's taking a break from DC films. Thank God. And of course, Batfleck is working on Batman. So we'll see where that comes. But
and just as a word, Warner Brothers, if you screw Wonder Woman up, Mouse will hunt you down.
I will come after you, and I will haunt your dreams.
Singing an aria.
I will sing an aria most dreadful and dour, and I will contact Christy Marston, who is of course Wonder Woman's creator's granddaughter, and we will stage something. I don't know.
Stage something.
We'll stage something.
Road play.
But no, seriously, Warner Brothers, do not screw Wonder Woman up. This is your last chance. I swear to you. And that's it. That's my most.
For you, yes. All right.
But I will give, considering Patty Jenkins' interviews, I will give them the benefit of the doubt, and I will be on opening night. I'm going to be at that movie theater with my Wonder Woman bracelet
and the hat.
And the hat. And if Cece is here, we'll get her to dress up as Wonder Woman.
All right, and for me, moving away from DC to the land of Marvel, my top choices are Thor Ragnarok, because I gotta see if Hela's gonna be in it, because I have always loved Hela. And if it is, in fact, who I think it is playing Hela.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's Cate Blanchett. In which case, yeah.
Galadriel Hela.
Yes.
She's going to be Galahela. All will love me and despair in the realm of the dead.
Please. Please. And so that alone makes me want to see, to see Thor Ragnarok. And my other choice, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Of course.
Because why not?
Why not? Because the first one was awesome.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, those are my two anticipated. There are a lot of things coming out next year that I worry about. Justice League, Wonder Woman, Spider-Man Homecoming, Star Trek Discovery. I worry about a lot of things next year.
You don't sleep. Drew has stopped sleeping.
Drew hasn't slept in 30 years.
That explains so much of why you're such a grumpy old man.
I beg your pardon, sir.
You're a total grumpy old man.
That has nothing to do with sleep. That's just natural. I was a grumpy old man when I came out of the womb.
I can believe that.
Anyway, so yeah, I worry about a lot of things coming out next year because I don't worry so much about the Marvel stuff because Marvel knows what they're doing.
DC, on the other hand?
Yeah, DC and CBS and the rest of you, I worry. So I have hope, but I worry. Therefore, you're not my most anticipated. And thus, we come...
We need to have a new category for next time, the most dreaded.
Most feared. We'll think about it.
Most feared.
I actually considered that while I was making my choices. I'm like, we don't have a most worried about.
Because we'd have a good amount of it being DC, and then
we would be Fox and CBS.
Yes, pretty much.
All right, so that is our topics for this
year.
I mean, we're done for the year, so we'll be back in January, which means I can go play Minecraft. Could
all acquaintance be forgot and never come to part? Just click down on subscribe, you see, and we'll be back by then. Or something like that. Oh, no.
It sounded like you said click the unsubscribe.
Click the unsubscribe button.
If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. In fact, hit that and the bell, because the bell is a notification. Who knows what the hell YouTube is doing these years? Anyways, bring your friends. Huh?
What is the bell for?
Apparently, YouTube did something in the last couple of months, and YouTubers have been talking about this, where I guess people who subscribe to you, that alone isn't enough to tell them that new shows are out. So now there's a little bell called Notify Me, which specifically notifies you that, in fact, whether you subscribe or not, that a new show is coming.
So what are we, like freaking Quasimodo? The bells are ringing.
Please, I mean, this resulted in a whole thing with PewDiePie complaining and saying, and fibbing and saying he was going to delete his channel if he got 50 million subscribers. He got 50 million and then deleted his secondary channel. What? PewDiePie trolls the rest of the internet? Shocking. Anyways, so yeah, that's our stuff for the year. We'll be back in January. Follow us.
Do not forget, when you're reflecting on the year and the things that have come to be, remember, thank God for Jim. And he'll thank God for me.
And he'll thank God for you?
I had to make it rhyme somehow. Shut up.
Oh, okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody. See you next year.
Where's the button there?